Good morning. You see, it's still morning, people, so technically that's correct. One day we'll start a stream at 11:59, and it will go from morning to afternoon, and then I'll pull the Simpsons. Good morning, good evening. Technically, it turned into evening. All right, get out of here. Oh boy, sorry, just dropped the dog. Pay no attention to what's going on behind me. The office has been ransacked. Um, yeah, it's a disaster behind me. We are doing this live stream. I'm doing it at the very least from the comfort and warmth of my basement because everybody was saying, Viva, get on the Ambassador Bridge. Viva, cover the Ambassador Bridge. Do the live, walking in the streets. The Ambassador Bridge is 8.5 hours from Montreal. Like, Canada's a big, big, big country. And Ontario and Quebec are big provinces. So the Windsor city, Windsor the town, and the Ambassador Bridge crossing into Michigan is 8 hours and a half from Montreal. So I don't know, 800 to 1,000 kilometers. It's too far away. My brother, however, my literal brother from the same mother, lives much closer to the bridge. And he's been seeing what's been going on in Ottawa. And he wanted to see what was going on in the Windsor Bridge. And so he's down there today. And then I said, I was going to give him just like live stream from Viva clips because I have live streaming capability there. I was like, I'm an idiot. Let's just do this live together. So for those of you, there's a joke in the family. Like, I look like my dad. I look like my second brother. And I have very similar behavior to my oldest brother. Dan, he's the one right above me. He grew up with the joke of being the product of the mailman because he doesn't look like anyone in our family. He's not. But when you see it, you'll tell me in the chat if you think there's any resemblance to Dan, my brother, and me. And so what I was going to say was standard disclaimers, no legal advice, no yada, yada, yada. My brother's not a reporter. He's also a lawyer. For anybody who doesn't know, father's a lawyer. My second oldest brother is a lawyer, but does tax law. My sister's a lawyer. My second youngest brother is a lawyer. His wife is a lawyer. My sister's husband's family's lawyers. Lots of lawyers in the family. The only one who's not a lawyer is my oldest brother. Okay. So he's on there, and he drove, I think it was 3.5 hours to get there this morning. And we're just gonna do it. We're gonna go live. We'll do it live. I had another thing to say. Yeah, he's not a reporter, so don't expect him to. I don't. We'll see how he deals with on the street interviews. But it's gonna be his big moment to tell the world what's going on. I'm bringing him in, Dan. I'm bringing you in. Stop picking your nose.
Hey, bro.
I'm joking.
Hey,
all right, Dan.
How are you?
So talk to the world. Tell everyone who you are, for who you are. What type of law do you do, Dan?
Well, I'm a corporate commercial lawyer, so this is not, protests are not my specialty. But I'm here really as a concerned citizen. So I came here to kind of just survey what's going on, and if I see anything, that really violates my concerns as a citizen and a lawyer, I guess, I would flag it and try to provide some reasonable voice. But I'm here just to kind of bear witness as a private citizen, really.
Someone said we have the same nose. I don't know. Dan, turn your head to the side. Let's see this.
So, let me give you an update what's going on, because I just got here about an hour ago. Okay. Apparently the bridge is now open. But police are blocking it, so all the vehicles apparently are off. So I don't think most of the world knows that right now. So we have basically a manufactured crisis in the sense that the bridge could be driven across right now as of 2 hours ago. So that's one fact that I did not know. Second fact is, can you see behind me they're not arrested, but they're telling people to get off this what is it? Out of this mall, the shopping mall. So the owner of the mall apparently said the police are authorized to arrest anyone or to notify people of trespass. That's what you're seeing there. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Pause for 1 second so that people appreciate the difference between Quebec and Ontario. We have no trespass laws provincially in Quebec. So you have what is called assault by trespass. I think it still exists in the criminal code, where if someone says, get off my property, and you assault in resisting, that's assault by trespass. But trespass as a statutory infraction is provincially determined, not federally. So we don't have this in Quebec where they say, get out of my business, and if you don't, you're trespassing. How does that work in Ontario?
Ontario, we have the Trespass Property Act, which is just a regular legislation that allows owners to kick anybody off their property with proper notice, I think with reasonable notice. So that's basically what they've authorized the police to do on their behalf, is to kick anybody who's not shopping off the property, off the premises. So I was actually told at one point to stay on the sidewalk because I'd be charged with trespass if I stayed there without without buying anything. So I was thinking of just going back and forth to the dollar store and just buying, bottled water or whatever. But in spirit of, I guess complying, I'm just kind of gonna stay here on the sidewalk for now until further order.
So I guess, yeah, but they say speak into the mic. Some are saying take your mask off. Too bad. Others are saying take your hat off so we can see. I think the two of us, Dan, I was joking about the mask. Now you're going to drop your glasses. Let's show the hairline. Show the hairline. I mean, that might, we are the two in the family with the widow's peak, right?
I got some, so I was talking to some other, people that are participating here. So we'll get some, we'll do some Viva Bro on the street at some point.
No, so the thing that I was going to ask, the shopping center, the stores are open then?
Yes, they're open. So anybody could really go on and off and get whatever they want. It's just if you have a flag, a Canadian flag, or look like you're part of the protest, they're going to discourage you from staying on. Well, you can't hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
They're going to discourage you from staying too much on the property. So we saw a car getting towed because it had a freedom. There may have been other reasons why it was getting towed, but it had a freedom signage on it and a Canadian flag. So with a hockey stick as the pole. So it's interesting how they're very peacefully but slowly pushing everyone away from this entire area, and we'll see where it goes.
Question: getting down there, you had messaged me or tweeted me about blockading the roads, or you showed me a video of a truck parked perpendicularly to the highway.
That's the bridge, the main road here to the bridge. They just keep pushing back and back the area, a protection area, the protection zone. So they've really extended here, so no cars are getting down the main area for the bridge to get on the bridge. I took just a side street, and there was no problem.
All right, I'm going to bring up this because I have the luxury now of being able to bring up chats when I'm in the basement, in the control room, and not on the street. Viva, I sent you chats about how the bridge was being cleared yesterday, and we needed you there to cover it. Now it's too late. Well, I wouldn't have been able to get there anyhow because it would have been 8.5 hour drive.
That's what I've told. Apparently, it was very organized pushback of the protesters. Like there was no fighting. There was no, from what I'm told.
All right, and Dan, someone says, Cassidy the Carpenter says, is Dan accepting clients? I own a construction company in Toronto and need someone experienced with contract law. Yeah,
go for it. A message. Can they message you? I don't want to give my email. There's too many people watching, but can they message you?
Or or Google it. Google my brother in Toronto if you need legal services. You're still in good standing in the bar society?
As far as I know.
We'll see what happens after this.
I'll get arrested here for something, which I won't. No problem.
Have you noticed any? So, well, obviously, my brother's name is the same last name as mine, Freiheit. Daniel Freiheit. Daniel Freedom.
For the record, I am. I was gonna wear my mask. I wear my mask as much as I can for various reasons. One, I think it's just the air quality everywhere. You're better off wearing a mask, personally. So I brought mine here expecting to wear it in a crowded protest, but I just don't feel the need, FYI. So, there you see, this is what you can't stop. See, they can only stop the convoy by constantly pushing the boundaries of the protected area, right? So you're going to get these stragglers that are, anyhow.
STFU says, what kind of world is it? What kind of world is Canada where each family needs a lawyer to describe the laws from each province to each other? You Freiheits are overachievers. Yeah, Canada's it's a federation, but it has one province, which is civil.
Let me test out. Can I do a Viva on the street interviewing?
Please. Make sure to ask them before so that nobody gets.
You know what? I learn from the best. I ask it. So before we went live, I got permission. So I'm gonna introduce. Here's my friend. Can you hear us both?
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So do you want to, I control the questions, right? You don't ask the questions, I do.
I can do it. I'm joking. Go ahead, then.
So why don't you tell us about yourself while you're here?
My name's James. I'm here as a concerned Canadian citizen to see what's going on. I was in Ottawa a couple of weeks ago as well. I'm going to go back there. I lived in Windsor many years ago, so I thought I should check it out. It's been pretty effective, the protest in terms of shutting down access to the Ambassador Bridge. An injunction came out yesterday giving the power to police to take further steps to get people off. Yesterday, a lot of people were on the road, probably about 500 people. They pushed them back and removed the big trucks. And then today, not many people were left when they pushed further up.
And I'm told, by the way, there are very few arrests. Is that correct?
I saw one arrest happen not too long ago here. A gentleman who just raised his voice against police, and they arrested him just for that. It seemed a little bit excessive to me. Other than that, people are cooperating. The police seem friendly enough. I spoke with some yesterday. He seemed friendly as well. One cop gave some hot paws out to a kid who was cold. And they seem reasonable. They're just here doing their job. Seems a little bit excessive. They told us not too long ago we had to move up along the sidewalk, which I think is a violation of the injunction because there's still a right to peacefully protest as long as you're not impeding the road, and people were out impeding the road. So I thought that was a little bit much. That happened not too long ago. But people are mostly leaving. Some more, although some are coming in. Right now, we're beside a strip mall, so police are trying to control who comes in. If you have flags or anything, they're questioning, are you here to shop or what are you doing? And they have towed some trucks away to this parking lot as well. So they stepped.
Question for James. When you say that they were arrested, how do you know that they were arrested and not just, I don't know, issued a ticket, put into the car for a few minutes, and then ultimately released?
I did see them take them. I saw them put them on the front of the car, and they put cuffs on them and put them in a police
That's what
cruiser.
we were talking about before, is that they have the right to detain, right? Or
I guess, yeah, it's true. And under the order, they can do that. They can enforce it the way they want to. I just thought that was excessive. He just raised his voice, and they seemed upset about that he would defy them. So there's a bit of a push there. There were some armored cars here. So there's a real show of force. There were snipers on the roof of a building yesterday further down the road.
You saw the snipers?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I didn't see them holding guns, but they had cameras and
telescopes or whatever.
Yeah, where they could. And there was police with tear gas and rubber bullets. Not that any of that was used. But as I mentioned, they seemed pretty peaceful, and they've just slowly been pushing people back. And today it was easy enough for many people. All the big trucks were gone, and they've been towing the smaller vehicles that remain. And
where was the crowd of protesters that we've been seeing in videos as of yesterday? Have they been moved back from where they were?
They were moved back. You can see that the Ambassador Bridge is down the road there, so pretty close to the entrance. They were pushed back like one block yesterday. There's a McDonald's there that was initially there. It was pushed back one block, and now it's been pushed back further 2 blocks to here and basically dissipated entirely. Although I saw last night a lot of the trucks that had moved had just been parked in other lots, and the question is, where will they go next? That's the thing about this, especially with being trucks, is they're mobile. They can go to other places and set up other protests. Saw in Ottawa they had a little parade that went to the airport, and that's part of the what the issue is for the authoritarians, that trucks are big heavy vehicles that are hard to tow. They have the legal right to go where they want to go, and so I could see this moving to other places. I heard at Fort Erie there was protests yesterday as well, and it's lots of borders, so this could keep happening until the mandates are lifted. And not just the mandates, it's also important that the emergency orders that give the basis of these people in charge to, without any debate in the legislatures, on a whim, change the rules, which seems totally undermining the democratic process. That's not what democracy is all about. There should be debate if you're going to impede people's liberties, and that's not happening. Under the guise of public health, they feel that they could do this, and that's immoral and contrary to the Charter of Rights.
When you say that they're pushing them back, and Dan, I don't know if you saw this, but like, is it literally what we saw was a line of police officers, and they're just slowly walking, and people are gradually moving back in order to not physically get confronted?
Yeah, that's what they're doing, and they're saying, and then they have some physical barriers that they're moving as well. So you have to stay behind that barrier. And initially it was all on the road, but now, as I said, they also did it a bit on the sidewalk as well.
There was that image of the veterans, I think, right, that was making the social media rounds of the veterans facing off against the police. So that was a nice PR moment, I think, for some of the veterans at least. But yeah.
What's the temperature there today?
Yeah, it's been peaceful.
It's cold. It's getting very cold.
It's very cold now.
Got to move around. -7.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's probably driving some of the. Okay, thank you very much. Should we circulate or what, Dave?
Yeah, walk. Go. See where you can walk to. Just show us what's going on as you walk.
far as you can go. They'll probably stop you there, but
Okay.
see how far they'll let you
Great.
go.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very
take
much.
care.
Have a good one.
And see you later. And my technique, Dan, to avoid confrontation with the police is not to record them directly and let them know that you're recording your own face and not theirs. And then they tend to be more amenable to answering questions.
Gotcha.
So it's basically it looks quiet and
Really, yeah. It's really fun. Look, you can see that what they're doing here. You see the barricades?
Yep.
There's the barricades for these. So they're basically slowly but surely. I don't know how they're going to get out, but they're blocking people from getting in cars, certain entrances, and I guess blocking people from getting out at this point.
Freedom bros. I like this. By the way, so Carla Vegas had a question, or what about a Rebel News being suspended on Twitter? First-hand confirmation, they were not suspended on Twitter. Rebel News Twitter handle is Rebel News Online, and the account that was suspended was just Rebel News, and it was a fake account or a parody, not a parody, impersonating whatever. It wasn't their account. So Rebel News has not been suspended on Twitter, so everybody knows that. It's Rebel News Online. They're still active. Ezra Levant is active. David Menzies is active.
Sorry. We started the stream. I was talking to this nice lady before. Did you want to talk on the interwebs now? You want? Sure. Hello. Hi. So this is, sorry, do you want to say Danielle? So Danielle I was talking to before. Do you want to say a bit about why you're here and what you've seen?
So I've been down here for a couple days now.
It's kind of loud background.
Okay, yeah. I support this movement. I'm for freedom of choice, and I wish there was more people down here. I realize that a lot of people are upset because of the closure of the bridge, but it's a little inconvenience for some, for myself as well, but fighting for a bigger cause.
Where's Danielle from?
Daniel, where are you from?
I'm from Windsor.
And are you comfortable sharing what you do for a living, or like?
I work in the auto industry.
Auto, okay. So the auto industry was majorly impacted by this bridge closure, and they're the ones that actually brought the injunction, right? So it's interesting. So did you notice in your work any impact from the bridge being closed?
We've been sent home every day.
Okay,
Early.
that's noticeable.
We're running out of parts. I know online there's a lot of people that are upset right now because there's the shortage of work. But the thing is, trying to explain to people that nothing's going to change. If we keep complying, nothing's ever going to change. It's going to get worse. The fact that Canada has 90% people that are vaccinated, but we have the biggest mandates. It's a totalitarian. It's tyranny that they're doing with us.
Yeah, there's mixed. I thought 90% or 80%. I don't know what the actual stat is on Canada.
90%.
It's I believe it's 90 of the eligible. So, and that's I'll Google that while we talk. But keep going, Dan. How you doing?
It's my brother.
Hey!
Now she likes me.
Oh yeah, I've seen you in Ottawa.
Oh, no. I say Windsor's too far to get to, so my brother's closer, and he wanted to see firsthand.
Here.
So, sorry, and you were on the bridge when they were forcing everyone back?
Yeah, we came down Friday night. So I was able to be right at the base of the bridge, right down on College near the railroad tracks. When we came back the next day, that they were stopping protesters from walking on College Street. So near the McDonald's, we were able to get around there. So they actually pushed us all back. So that area. So slowly they pushed everything back.
And what was the emotional climate? Like people crying, or was it just quiet, or like camaraderie?
Camaraderie, yeah.
Okay.
So they complied. I mean, they went along.
Yep.
Nobody was fighting, and then yesterday when we were here, the veterans. You probably saw the veterans that were in front of the line.
Yep.
And to hold the line, and then their next move was to put the cement barricades up. Okay.
Yep.
So they did that, and I know last night they were calling for people to come down and support this. I think a lot of people are afraid of getting arrested. It was totally peaceful last night. I didn't feel threatened at all. I was here by myself.
Okay.
So,
Do you have any other?
So I just Googled it, by the way. According to Health Canada, or Yeah, it looks like Health Canada Infobase. 84.21% of the total population in Canada has received at least one dose, and 79.36 has received 2 doses. So
And
30.
a lot of that uptake is because of the high pressure that's been put on employees in workplaces, whether it's federal, provincial, a lot of these tough mandates, that I've started to speak out a bit against in terms of how much you can coerce someone to take a vaccine. Encourage someone to get vaccinated, present them the benefits and all this, and show them how wonderful it is at protecting a lot of people. But it's how far you go with that level of force, and I think it's important to speak out against the lines that can get crossed when you exert too much force. So,
well, the thing is, from what I know, it's still an experimental vaccine.
prayer team, love it.
Okay.
That's awesome. Hold on, we're on a live stream. You okay with being live on the internet? I'm sorry to. It's good. These guys at the prayer team. It got me very excited here. So, what brought you out to the protest today?
We're out here to encourage peace and freedom, but also the love of Jesus, the ultimate freedom that you can have in your life, that nobody can take away.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
It's,
And you're okay. That's great. And so you belong with a local organization?
no, we're actually 2 hours away. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, we came here to
From whereabouts?
Elmer area, Elmer, Tiltonburg.
Okay. Yeah. Familiar with it. Good.
Yep.
And so, our police response? Do they approve?
Yes, they've been very supportive and cooperative, and we've had a good vibe from them, right?
Any prayer with them?
No, most of them shy away. They say no, they got their job to do. They can't leave their post, right?
Well, there's a charter right to to pray. You're allowed to pray at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't interfere with other duties.
Yep.
Right.
They've given us permission. They've told us their names and said yes, we can pray for them, but they haven't taken part in our prayer, right?
Okay. Wow.
That's okay, but
Very good.
we will still pray for the men regardless, right?
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long are they there for?
What's that?
How long are they staying there for?
He's staying for it. The day?
Just today.
Yeah, the day.
So, I mean, if you're looking around, Dan, how many protesters do you see? I mean, we're talking dozens and not hundreds of thousands.
Well, it looks like I want to stick around. It's so cool. If this was a summer day, man, this place would be packed. But I just got look at this. I just got to show you this dog. I know you have a little soft. This beach. Oh, he's so cute.
Oh, that dog looks like it has bad breath.
Like he does.
What kind of dog is it, by the way?
It's a boxer mix.
Pug.
Pug?
The Pug Boston Terrier.
Oh, okay.
It looks bigger on camera.
Sorry for the interruption. Thank you very much for talking to us, and
No problem.
And just tell Danielle that we used to have a pug who I knew. I could tell his breath because of our pug had.
It always has bad breath.
It was our pug. It was a rescue pug, but man, it was like you grew to love it, but you knew that it was odorous, but the very cute dog.
Thank you.
All right, Godspeed.
okay. I want to go back into one of these stores, but I'm worried about have to have a real good something. I do need some water, so maybe I'll go into a Dollar Tree and get some water.
Get some water and warm yourself up, and then go back outside. Dan, you're not dressed warm enough for the weather.
No, that's the problem. I brought my I brought an awesome Czechoslovakian army jacket that I have in the car. Maybe I'll go back and get it. Like at a army surplus store I got off.
Very cool. So so when you say that now, did they get the injunction, Dan? Do you know?
The injunction, yeah, for the bridge they got the injunction for 10 days.
And the injunction is to do what? To open up one lane or to open up the entire bridge?
Arrest anybody who's impeding or blocking access. You on the web? So yeah, it's to anybody who's impeding or blocking access to the bridge can be arrested, and anyone can be detained or moved around pretty much at whim. So, but it's I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the peaceful manner in which they've managed to expand the protection zone here.
Yeah, because we saw it. It was like it's they sort of expanded the zone in the same way the government encroached on our rights, like bit by bit, so that you don't really notice it. And then at the end of the day, you're stuck at home at 8 o'clock at night because the government locked you down under curfew.
Well, look at this cute. These kids running in the parking lot here with a car with flags.
But do you know what the details of the injunction were? I missed it.
I could send you the link, or someone could find it. And
Hold on, I'm an idiot. I'm right here. I can do that more easily than you.
Manufacturer was having some major issues getting parts. From what I understand, I don't know if anybody else was affected. I'm guessing people who have to cross the borders. They mentioned healthcare workers, but I thought a lane was open, so I'm not really sure the details of how bad the blockage was.
Here with the Ontario court hearing for injunction to end blockade underway. Oh, here we go. Judge grants injunction aimed at ending Ambassador Bridge. So I'm just going to read this. That's 2 days ago. Law enforcement will collaborate and coordinate how to respond to the ruling. An Ontario Superior Court judge has granted an injunction aimed at ending the blockade by protesters, yada, yada, yada. Chief Justice Jeffrey Morowitz handed down the ruling Friday. It came into effect 7 p.m. as a large crowd was still present at the bridge. 5 hours after the deadline, some 100 protesters remained milling around the entrance to the bridge. The document, which was provided late Friday to the city of Windsor, states that anyone having notice of the order is prohibited from, quote, impeding or blocking access to the Ambassador Bridge and indirect or direct approaching roadways and access points for 10 days. It authorizes police or designated agents to remove any vehicles, personal property, equipment, structures, or other objects. All right, so it looks like something similar. The dog is destroying something on the floor. It looks like, in Ottawa, they got an injunction, and it was to prevent the honking of the horns, and the convoy, the protesters abided by it because they are, the most law-abiding, peaceful protesters you could have possibly imagine. So I suspect they're doing the same there. They'll abide, and another blockade or another protest will, rise up somewhere else in Canada.
But on the interwebs on a live stream. Yeah, Viva Frei, Viva Frei, no, he's a big YouTuber out in Montreal. Former litigant. Do your own advertising. Okay, so this is some other. Are you guys part of the protest? You're just witnesses. What do you got?
We live in the city. We're just here to check things out and show some support.
Cool. Okay. And were you part of the protest the other days? Were you here any of the other days?
Out and about, but no, we haven't actually joined anything yet.
Okay. Good.
In the crowds.
And what have you seen so far? What's your take on?
It's not doing too much harm, but everyone's making out to be really harmful for our economy and the city, and everyone's getting around just fine. Everyone's moving just fine. If anything, it's they're saying people are having bonfires and barbecues and whatnot, just hanging out. And it became more of a hangout than a protest. But that was a small minority of the actual crowd itself. Everyone was really, from what I've seen over live streams, Facebook, media, just it's awesome what's going on here.
Yeah.
Ask any vandalism, any destruction, any rowdy behavior worthy of newsworthy reporting?
No, you look on these streets. There's no.
I'm seeing rowdy behavior right here. These kids behind me are being rowdy. But
there's no vandalism.
I came once last week, and it wasn't that crazy as it has been the last few days, but it's quite a few people, probably about 100 people, and it felt like everyone's just hanging out, enjoying themselves, having coffee, drinking, eating.
So you're aware this is what caused, by the way, a provincial emergency order. An emergency order.
Yeah.
A couple of Canadians peacefully
Hanging out.
protesting.
Playing hockey.
Where? Here?
Yeah. Down by the border.
Oh, they did that here too. I saw that in Ottawa. I didn't know they were doing that in Windsor.
Yeah.
Okay. Hockey's everywhere in this country, I guess. Okay, interesting. You guys resident Windsorians.
Yeah.
Okay.
How have they been impacted by the blockade? Is it interrupting business?
No.
No, not really. No.
Maybe the big companies, but
What do you guys do?
I just work at Starbucks.
Okay.
I'm a landscaper, so right now we just do snow. I had to the first maybe like a week and a half ago, and there's a small little wave that happened, and then this whole thing just happened, right? And the first time I even had to we drove through it, and it was I was on the clock. I'm getting paid hourly. I'd rather be supportive than negative in any way. Like, so what? I take another 20 minutes to get to the job site. I'd much rather be in support of something like this. As you see, there's tons of people. There's no garbage on the streets. No one's throwing Tim's cups, masks. There's no vandalism anywhere. All we see is like cardboard signs of nice things, and people are coming from all over. We just shared a prayer with a man. Actually, I can't remember, but he was
Yeah.
Question for you're from Windsor, the two of you, correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I'm reading a chat here that says all non-commercial traffic, nurses, etc., use the tunnel in Windsor, which is 5 kilometers away and close to Windsor downtown core. Nurses are not impeded. So I've read two things: that there's a height restriction for that tunnel, so that it was not a viable alternative for the trucking vehicle route. Do you know of the restrictions for the tunnel, and is it open and freely commuted now?
Not sure of the restrictions on the tunnel. I believe most traffic was getting rerouted there. I guess instead of coming from here online up towards the bridge and directly onto the bridge, they had to do a loop around and come back through Wyandotte, which is a smaller entrance, so a little more hassle for the truckers. But again, still a viable roadway, right?
They just put it here. They could go there though, perfectly fine.
Yeah, I believe they were also redirecting to, I can't even remember the city. Sarnia is the next bridge. They're redirecting up there.
How far is that?
2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, it's with, okay. Which is interesting because it's basically it's a serious inconvenience and cost, but it's not an entire prevention of trade, which is interesting because it goes to the question of, what, how much of an emergency it is. If it's just a matter of impossible to do trade, or is it seriously?
Well,
oh yeah, be careful, guys. No, you're right. We're not on the sidewalk. That's right. I already noticed.
Well, and by the way, so everyone appreciates in law for the issuance of an injunction, you have to have irreparable harm, color of right, balance of inconvenience, and
unless you. I don't care. Oh, you're on. Okay.
I'll get back to the irreparable harm afterwards.
I've got a soldier now that just says pop in to say hello.
Hello. I'm going to make my way down the sidewalk that apparently we weren't supposed to walk on. So
okay,
we're checking that out.
Which is are you comfortable? This is a live stream with I don't know how many are you watching now, Dave?
17,000 on YouTube, and I don't know how many on Rumble. Let me just open that up.
Hey, this guy's an honor and pleasure to meet you. What regiment are you with?
I was just served with 2RCR for many years and CSOR, Canadian Special Officer.
Okay, and I don't want to get you in any trouble. So anything
tours in Afghanistan and in Haiti.
Okay, I don't want to get you anything in trouble. So I know that the higher ups are not are discouraging or well.
I'm retired, so.
Okay, so what are you here for today? Why
for freedom? I have a 2-year-old son, and this isn't the world I want for him. So I believe in this. Don't quite believe the blocking of the bridge at the time, but it got its point across. So I'm here peacefully protesting on the sidewalk.
Okay.
And if anybody has a problem with that, I'm glad to have a confrontation.
So,
sir, let me ask you about the medals. I've always found fascinating because I know nothing about them. What do you have? What do you have on your chest?
I have peacekeeping medal and Haiti medal, Afghanistan medals, and the sacrifice medal for being injured in combat and in country.
Well, I'll tell you, I know the chat is saying it faster than I can, but thank you for your service and sincerely thank you for everything.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Pleasure
to meet you. Yes.
You guys well.
Okay.
So, Dan, the idea about the injunction, the idea that you could get traffic around, but it would be 2 to 3 hours each direction. So it would add 6 hours. It would add cost. So if you're arguing the injunction and whether or not it's irreparable harm,
thanks.
It's quite reparable harm because you can factor in those additional costs, but it's not causing something that cannot be undone by final judgment. I presume the lawyers argued this, but this is why
This is a good legal question. I'm not the master of injunctions. I just know that they did have I know that there was a delay on the hearing of that application because the judge wanted to hear from the other side. So there was a hearing at least, which is good because I think in some of the other proceedings there wasn't.
they went ex parte for the restraint on the Give Send Go account. And by the way, you can get ex parte injunctions if you have the same concern, like if you notify them and give them a chance to be heard. The principle is audi alterum partem, the right to be heard. It's a fundamental principle of law. So at least here they had an adversarial debate, but you could predict which way the judge would go on that.
That's right. I'm here with another protester. Sorry, not protester. Somebody walking on the street with a sign.
The truth shall set us free.
What are you? Can you tell what you're here for?
I'm here to support the truckers and get this country open.
Okay.
Make it free. Freedom. We need freedom.
Is this your first time here?
Yeah, I'm from Toronto, actually.
Okay, ditto. I did the drive this morning.
Oh, good.
And how you gonna stay here for the day?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they tell you not to go on the?
No.
Did they tell you not to go on the shopping mall?
No, I just got here.
Okay. You'll get the notice. It's trespass.
If he doesn't know about the court order, he can't be in contempt of it. But once he knows about it,
Okay, well, thank you.
Hey.
I'll see you. See you around.
So someone had asked whether or not this weather is normal for Canada. January, February are typically pretty cold. So
Here's what I'm seeing, by the way. I'm seeing like waves, like little pockets of like different types of mini convoys, like trucks and cars that are just like coming and driving, and then I guess they do a slow roll through the mall. I think I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's interesting to see.
well, it's a breaking it up piece by piece, chisel by chisel, inch by inch. And it's interesting. Like if the police walk 1 foot an hour in a line, no one's going to bump chests with them, so they'll gain. It's like literally trench warfare of the protest kind. But Dan, what was the tweet you sent me this morning about the cop who someone was Well, I tweeted out, but there was a cop recorded saying, we support you guys.
Basically, it was like, yeah, it looked like an OPP officer who wasn't too concerned with the particular group that was that he had pulled over, and I guess he wasn't concerned generally about the particular groups that he had seen at the protests. I know there's been some issues with people that have been breaking the law, but it seems like for the most part, law enforcement is not overly concerned with the majority of the protesters. So it's interesting to see how they deal with that on a case by case basis.
We're still live.
Here we go.
All right. I gotta say hi to Viva, brother.
Another Viva fan here. Right?
Viva, dude.
How you doing?
Dude,
Tell us what's going on in Windsor.
Dude, I've been coming here since Wednesday. It's been great. I love it. Civil disobedience is the only way that we can get our message across. Unfortunately, this is what it comes to. But when we start talking money, they listen. Yep. I want to come to Ottawa, but it's too cold up there.
I think it's cold where you are.
Oh, this is nothing, dude. This is the South.
How have you noticed the protester crowd shrinking, expanding, moving? Like, what's been the evolution since Wednesday?
Okay, so what happened on Wednesday was we had the crowd right at the bridge. It was like a party, just like it was in Ottawa. Lots of food, very friendly. The kids were out. People were bringing their small children. The flags were prominent. The cops were cool. I was talking with the cops. They were all really cool. It was really great. I loved it. And I came out on Thursday. It was the same thing. No change. Just a lot of people hanging out, bringing a message. Our national anthem is a war cry, brother. It's a war cry. The true north, strong and free. This is what it's about. But when I came on Friday morning, that's when things were starting to get a little bit hairy. There was more police presence there. Saturday was the same. Saturday was the cops had already moved. They started moving. They started at College Avenue. They would move 10 feet, wait about 5 minutes, and they would move another 10 feet until they got about 100 yards away from College Avenue, which is an east-west route. Then people just started showing up, and we just stopped them in their tracks, and they stayed there all day. I was there for about 3 hours. It was a very festive mood. The cops were not moving. They just held their ground. Then they just waited till everybody dispersed, which was strategically probably the thing that they needed to do. Then once the crowd had dissipated, the early morning hours came in and they made their move. And this is what they're doing now. They're making their move. So this was all pretty well planned out. Short of taking out billy clubs and tear gas, this was probably the most peaceful way to do it. There was a lot of heat. The Michigan governor was putting a lot of heat on. There was just, the money talks, right? And this is what it's all about. And all of a sudden, Windsor's a focal point of entire North America because they finally realized that 25% of the trade moves across this border. So it was a strategic point. And we nailed it. This is what's great. This is what's great about it.
Now, someone had said in the chat that, like 40% of Michiganders are not fully vaccinated. So, there might be as much support on their side from the human perspective, but not from necessarily the business perspective, which, is all that the governments care about. In Windsor, I mean, a lot of people work for the auto industry?
Yes. Well, manufacturing in general. We have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers.
And from what I understand, do you have you work for
I worked 40 years in the automotive industry.
So are you like I've heard they do have vaccine mandates at some of these manufacturing companies, but they can't really enforce them too much because they're worried about losing staff. Have you heard of this?
Well, this is the dilemma they have, is where when you start enforcing mandates, you start losing your workforce. And the outcome of the pandemic has been that labor has woken up to the sense like, hey, I'm more valuable. You need me more than I need you, right? And the agenda that the elitists have been pushing is that, you got to listen to me. And finally, this is an awakening. This is an awakening to all the people in Canada. We are in charge. We have to hold our elected people accountable. Doug Ford is a thug. If he can arbitrarily just declare a state of emergency and put in these rules, this is unconstitutional. How come people haven't been talking about our constitutional rights during the pandemic? It took the frustration to build up to an explosive level to get to this point. The government created this.
That was a question I had about whether, and I'm not, again, this is not my area of expertise, but an emergency order, is there a grounds to appeal the emergency order when it's really doesn't seem, from what I'm seeing here, doesn't seem to be justified. It's not a court sanctioned
exactly
order.
It's a unilateral declaration in the discretion of whichever authority declares it. And I'm making the joke, they're handing out emergency orders like they're Skittles, or like Oprah handing out cars at one of her episodes. Like,
so that's the concern that I think a lot of lawyers are starting to speak up for in Ontario now, is that these emergency orders, this particular last one with the fact that, whatever the car company was that spawned it, the injunction, and needed to get things back. Like, from what I'm seeing, I don't know how a province-wide emergency order would be warranted in this kind of situation. Like, I don't see it. Maybe
they'll argue it's a financial emergency. Like, sure, it's now we got to emergency preserve the auto industry for the 2 weeks of this protest. But where was the emergency if it's financial? Where was the emergency for 2 years when they were locking down businesses? It's
Viva, not financial.
Yes, sir.
People have a short memory. I was here in 9/11 when they shut the border down. I felt the impact at work immediately. And when the pandemic was full blown, when the B11 virus first emerged out of Wuhan, they shut our factory down during the lockdown. I was off work for 2.5 months. From an economic standpoint, we were devastated. This region was devastated. The entire country was devastated, but more so in Windsor because of the manufacturing base. We're the first in and first out of any recession or financial hardship because of this area is so manufacturing based. So this is nothing compared to what we went through after 9/11 and after the first lockdown during a B1B version of the virus. This is nothing. This is just a small hiccup.
So again, it seems like it was based a bit on the concern or the fear that it was going to, generate, major shortages or maybe a province-wide issues. So it's interesting.
No, what's amazing is that they to weaponize even the emergency declaration proclamations. They declared a state of emergency to shut businesses down, and now they're declaring a state of emergency to open them up, depending on the whim and will of the government, and not the actual needs and state of emergency of the emergency. So,
and what bothers me the most is that these politicians, they sit in ivory towers and they tell us what to do. Meanwhile, the mom and pop operations that are the backbone of this country are devastated. This doesn't make sense. Yet people continue to listen to our government. And meanwhile, like the people that depend on the people are devastated. And then they end up giving money, which is our tax money. It doesn't make any sense. And then they say they're doing it in the right. And then the government falls in, oh, well, the health experts are telling us this is what we got to do. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Experts are not accountable to us.
I don't know if the health experts were consulted on the border crossing.
No, well, it's not just that. Like the health experts are appointed by the politicians making the declarations. It's an incestuous relationship, and now we're sort of seeing how they are now reverting to the courts, who are the other leg. Sir, thank you very much.
Good chatting with
Hey,
you.
Viva, you're a rock star, dude.
Thank you. Have a good day.
I gotta keep moving. I'm freaking cold, man.
Now, I want to be clear on one thing. I avoid a lot of problems in life by keeping my schmeckle where it belongs. So just to this chat, Viva appears to become a major sex symbol. Who would have ever thunk? By the way, I'm not. By the way, but I just thank you for the chat. Thank you for the laugh.
You are.
No, I like it. I mean, it's an amazing thing where people are focusing on this. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks of disruption, but not a total utter lockdown. They locked it down multiple times in the past and invoked emergency orders to justify the lockdown. Now they're invoking emergency orders to require an opening up, just depending on the players. Switch the players around. The government always gets to exploit the law, their own political appointees, and the court system itself.
Well, there's some concern that there's a bit of self-referential, politicians deferring to the medical experts, and now the medical experts deferring back to the Like, I think we've gotten into this infinite loop now where we're kind of stuck, at least in Canada, where each is absolving themselves of liability at this point without a real clear plan, I think, and that's kind of the concern where we're at. My view is that because of what Dr. Moore has recently said, that the holdouts for the vaccine, they're like the vaccines are not good. It's gonna hard to force them to get vaccinated.
This is Dr. Kieran Moore, the one. What did he say that
Right.
I found so egregiously offensive? And then I had to liken his physical appearance to Lenin. What did he said a bunch of things. I'll have to go through my Twitter feed because that's where I keep my diary of memories. You guys, please keep bringing the live reality. Thank you. I mean, look, you can see what's going on. The problem is not problem. It looks very quiet. It doesn't look like there's anybody there. Oh, police officer.
Are you a police officer? I couldn't tell. Are you okay? Yeah, you look okay. I wasn't sure. You look like geared up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Who are you with? Can you go on a live stream?
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck. You look warm.
I could tell there was if there's a fraction of a second of hesitation, I know it's not going to happen. This is when you read the on the street people. But what's the traffic like in terms of people at the shops shopping?
There's like cars just randomly coming in and driving around. You can see it behind me a bit, right? Like they come in off that. What is that? What street is that? Just north of College. But they just kind of come in. They drive around. You can't really stop them unless you shut down the whole plaza. So that might be coming next. Like they may just be shutting down the plaza. But so far, people can still drive in and play around. But I'm like you. I would be okay to talk to some OPP.
No, talk to them. I would just to not be antagonizing and to not elicit an immediate trigger bad response. Just let them know you're not recording their faces and their badge numbers to ostensibly dox them on the interwebs.
I got my criminal law buddy on standby, not just for me, but in case there's any other,
we got David Anber, who's in Ottawa doing the criminal work there. We had him on Friday. Let me see here. We are the modern slaves and have been systematically mass hypnotized and milked by the government via our education system. Thank you for the super chat. One thing is clear: the government and its subsidized media are working hard to keep the people in ideological line. Right or wrong, blocking the bridge was hurting the perception of the protest. Tactically, not a benefit.
Yes. Yeah. The blockade, I think, most lawyers wouldn't ever support a blockade of that magnitude, blocking critical infrastructure like that. Like they just wouldn't. And especially if emergency vehicles can't get through, like that would be a no-brainer. But I think they were letting emergency vehicles through, so then it gets a bit still more gray. But I think generally blockade, that kind of level of blockade is not really acceptable.
Well, there's no question it is a statutory offense, not necessarily a criminal one. Although if you want to give a broad interpretation to certain criminal provisions like mischief, maybe you'll say parking your car in a way to obstruct traffic is mischief. I don't know, but definitely statutory. I mean, ticket the cars.
Well, here we got a whole bus, a chartered bus. You see me behind me?
It looks interesting. Go on and see. This is beautiful. This is like I'm now watching the Choose Your Own Adventure from the comfort and warmth of the basement. My dog Winston is eating.
I don't get this.
He just ate a propeller for the drone.
What's going on? Should I do that? Can I flip the? No, I can't flip the camera. How do I flip the camera?
I don't think you should. Don't do that. I mean, I don't know how you do it on StreamYard. I don't think there's a way.
So, chartered bus.
It's a chartered bus. That's a city bus behind you.
City bus. Right. What is it doing? I'm not sure. So, yeah, this is cool.
How numb is your face?
Not numb.
All right, so go. Well, I mean, I don't want to tell you to go ask the police officers anything, but there seem to be. What's their strategy? What are their orders?
I'm not sure. Not sure. Are we allowed here? We good? Are you guys gonna push that way? The prayer team.
There was a lot of prayer, even where I was noticing a lot of prayer in Ottawa. There were people in groups on the corners of the streets. I seem to have missed a red super chat here. Let me just see if I can get the.
So there's
MSMP. Hold on one second. MSMCPA says was going to donate 50 for all your hard work during this, but add you and your bro a schmeckle for reference. Oh, thank you very much, MSM, which I guess is a chartered accountant. Sorry, Dan, what were you saying?
So what was I saying? I forget. My brain is actually.
There's a lot of people there behind you with Canadian flags. Where you want to see if they're willing to express themselves?
Those folks?
Yeah.
Who you want? Hey, you want to be on a live stream? Be on a live stream? Sure, I'll take a hat. I need extra large though. Is this the largest one?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
By the way, my brother and I both have XL heads, big skulls.
You want to talk? Well, want to be on a live stream?
No. Okay. Oh yeah, sure. Yes.
You know Viva Frei in Montreal? No. Okay, we got another. So can I ask what's your name?
My name's Marty.
Marty, I'm Dan. Nice to meet you.
Let Marty know that there are roughly 30,000 people watching right now, so he should not say anything too embarrassing.
1,000, man, that's rocking.
Well, let me just.
A lot of action.
Hang on.
Look at this. Look what they're doing. They're just driving through the parking lot. That's awesome.
Because of the Omicron variant, I need to wear an N95, and you guys need to all take note. The Omicron is very transmissible. It's very dangerous. Did you guys know that September 21st, when they actually announced this, the mandates or whatever you want to call them, that it was scheduled to end in the spring of 2022? Look it up. Peace out. I'm out of here before this gets.
Cut.
So I know what he's talking about. There was an alleged leaked memo from the Liberal Party which had a timeline of all the events.
Is that a conspiracy thing going on there?
Well, I look, it's unverified, unvetted. I said I was skeptical of it because at one point they were talking about building quarantine facilities in Canada. And I said, just analyzing it at the time, you don't need to build quarantine facilities because you could just convert existing facilities into them, which they ended up doing with the hotels. So doesn't matter. Okay, what do you got?
What do I got is it's like the convoy, or like many convoys are coming through the parking lot, and the police are gonna have to shut down this entire parking lot, I think, because if they're trying to control the protests at this point. So it's interesting how they're slowly choking off the entire Windsor area. Like,
are you able to find any trucker in his or her rig?
Actually, that's a good point.
Because someone's asking, are the truckers going to come back? But we haven't seen a truck in the background yet.
No, there are no. I don't see any big rigs. This lady's high. Oh, I love 80s rock, man. Can't go wrong.
You can go wrong because what ends up happening is the copyright holders claim the entire stream. Yesterday's stream, by the way, was claimed because it had Eye of the Tiger playing at some point. So I had to mute the audio, not for monetary reasons. That copyright holder troll is not going to claim 4 hours of my freezing my butt off for their profit. My goodness. All right, Dan, they want to talk. Who's making the noise?
She's on a live stream too. Who wants to be on it? You want to be on the live stream too?
Huh? I'm okay.
You want to be on?
Live stream inception.
I think she's too busy.
So you don't see any. There's no convoy. There's no truckers lined up one after the other.
No big rigs. It's just a small like the F-150 types. I don't see any. No, none of the big truckers. I think at this point, it seems like just more of like the people's movement at this point. Like you hear the prayer team. Like it's not. I don't know.
Someone said, we know how Biden won the election through fortification as detailed in the Time magazine article, but how did Canada elect Trudeau? He got a minority government, and even with his minority government, he got 22% of the potential vote. So dude's unpopular even by minority government standards. And I think he's done after this. He's sitting there tweeting about the Olympics while the country is in revolution and revolt and the international community is watching in real time, tweeting about the Olympics. Of course, with his love for the Chinese dictatorship, that's very fitting. But let's see what we got here. The bridge is privately owned by a logistics giant in Michigan. Follow the money. His truck's over his bridge. Major money. Okay, go ahead, Dan.
I can leave now.
Anybody want to be on a live stream? Want to do an interview?
Stephanie, right? Yeah. Come here.
No, take it. Yeah, I don't have your charm, man. I don't have your charm.
Dan, you're a little. It's lackluster, but turn it around and just show us what the police are doing there. They look like they're congregating. So what are they doing? What are they standing up against?
I'm enjoying some smell of secondhand smoke.
I mean, so this is interesting. It looks like it's, I want to say, fizzling out. They got the court order. The bridge is open. If not entirely, at the very least, enough for traffic. And the cops are slowly pushing everybody back. It looks like, and there's no big rigs and minimal protesters.
By the way, I don't go anywhere. My kids know this. I don't go anywhere without my Swiss Army knife. Okay, but before I came out here, I'm like, I don't know. I left my Swiss Army knife in the car because that, you never know what's going to happen if they take you and they start searching you. You have to be mindful of these things. That you have to be entirely peaceful and can't have the semblance of, So, just wow. Hi, how are you? It's all very peaceful, very friendly so far.
And what's the police officer behind you doing?
Oh, they're taking off the grass. See this?
Unbelievable.
They're enforcing the law of trespass very strictly here.
Yeah.
You cannot. So I'm not even going to put my foot on it because that technically is an act of trespass. But if I were to, actually, I'm not even going to cross the invisible wall here, okay? Because that's trespass.
I can't get the zip ties out.
Can I ask why you're keeping on a live stream?
For me?
You're keeping on a live stream?
You are?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You okay on it?
It up.
You want to speak? What do you?
My sign says it has a beautiful side.
Open Ontario end lockdowns. It's time to take our rights back. Sir, I think many people would agree with that.
How long you been here for?
We just got here about 10 minutes ago.
Where are you from? Windsor. And were you here the other days? Every day? And the police response been proportional and reasonable?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so it seems so. We're not. Did they tell you can't go past this line now?
Like I said, I just got here now, but it's all, you can't go that way, I imagine. What I don't understand is the truckers' strike, or whatever they want to call it, the blockade. They're fighting to get all the restrictions for vaccine mandates lifted. Okay, so they lifted them on the police. Now the police are out here, because they were fighting for the police as well. Now the police are out here fighting against us. What the fuck is that?
It's odd. We don't know where these.
They should have told everybody who told them to come down here to go fuck themselves. They got COVID. They can't make it.
It was one of my questions. I know that the police were given the same kind of ultimatums and threats. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's
ultimatums and threats as everyone else, right? Which is that either accept the mandate or you're terminated.
Yeah.
And I believe there is a class.
The truckers blockade there got rid of that for the police.
So I think there's a class action. There's a class action I heard from the police that were terminated or had their severances or denied because of the mandates. So I don't know where it's standing, but it's a slow process, right?
Well, but you figure, I mean, you can tell the gentleman that those officers have either been forced out or stopped working, and the remaining officers
Companies, that is, will
did it.
Right.
They'll drag out in court for years, but they'll lose and they'll have to pay.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you for talking. Yeah. Appreciate it. Here we have CBC.
Dan, go talk to CBC for a second. You got to talk to CBC.
Talking for a live stream? No.
One question. Just ask him if he's been accosted or otherwise aggressed or, abused by anyone in the crowd.
CBC, they're being treated very well here. I will even offer to go buy them a coffee. But they're not talking to me. Coffee? They're being treated very well. They're not talking to me, which is fine.
Of course not. Why would they talk to the people? Why would they talk to the people they represent?
To be honest, I'm a fan of their reporting. I thought they were being fair in some of their journalistic reporting, but maybe they're going to be more neutral and both sides, even-handed this time. But I'm seeing some Glock. Well, they all got Glocks. Okay. Well,
the police.
They're all fully armed.
Oh, my brother is the arms specialist. Thank you, Viva. You never know what part you will play in our world. I doubt you knew you would be on the front lines of saving us all. We stand with America's hat. Go Canada. Thank you very much, Joe Mocenari. Yeah, I've heard the rumors, and I think people have confirmed that there were snipers on the roofs. I don't know how you can see that with your bare eye, but I would have no doubt that there would be. I mean,
I wonder if CBC's waiting for someone to get angry at them, and then they're going to put that front and center.
We saw CBC, doing an interview with someone who was clearly inebriated in Ottawa, presumably to make that look like the essence of the crowd. But I doubt they're going to find anyone rowdy or inebriated or in a bad state there. Everyone looks it's not a big enough crowd.
Yeah, my real question is whether I can cross that street, and if not, why not?
Well, maybe go ask the police officers. I'm gonna egg my brother on into getting arrested live on the internet. I'm not, Dan. I'm not.
I'm just curious. I'll wait till the next green light and see what happens.
Well, just ask them what you just ask and.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll just go ask another officer. Oh. So is this called choking off? Must be a technique in call. I'm very interested in crowd control. I did a minor in social psychology, and crowd control is very interesting to me. Are we allowed? So I cannot cross.
You can't go across the street. If you cross the street right now, someone's going to stop you.
The police officer will stop me.
Yeah, you can't go any further.
Will they arrest me?
But yeah, you're not. They're going to ask you to come back.
And why are they going to arrest me?
What's that?
Why would they arrest me for crossing the street?
Well, we've got it closed off right now.
Is there an emergency there?
You know the answer to that. There's no
I
emergency.
did know there was an emergency 2 or 3 days.
It's just for public safety. It's just an area we've claimed. So
They've
if you
claimed.
try to cross over there, they're going to ask you to come back here.
And they may detain or arrest me.
It's not going to come to that.
Dan, is that a police officer or is that a citizen?
It's a police officer. It's an OPP.
Okay. You down with OPP? And are they doing this in virtue of the injunction? Like, is this the expansive order of the injunction?
It's related to the injunction, right?
Yes.
It's related to the injunction.
Okay.
Presumably. But again, so look, it may or may not be lawful under the charter to prevent people from walking across to food basics, right? What's our remedy at this point? The remedy is to now get a court order saying to fight the injunction, allowing access to the food basics. So am I going to do that now? It's Sunday. How am I going to get a court order to...
It's Sunday. You're a citizen. You'd have to use your own private money to do it, unlike the government, which uses taxpayer dollars to get injunctions against its own citizens. It's the beauty. It's good to be king.
It's not like I got the G. I didn't get the G20, G7, like the one where they were really kettling people. That one they settled, and they settled that one for some people got tens of thousands of dollars for a few minutes being roughed up, right? Now, again, in 10 years, maybe they'll have whoever's here will be successful.
Well, that's why the provisional injunctions are 10 days. Emergency, you reassess after 10 days. You have a full or more highly briefed evidentiary hearing. Right now, it's emergency, issuing it on the file as it stands, which is necessarily incomplete. So they'll say, "Oh yeah, okay, so we can restrict the order now, or we've achieved our goal." So limit the scope of the injunction in 10 days.
It's sad. This is how you just choke it off, and this is kind of what I think people are resisting generally, is the choking off of democracy right now. It wasn't a sudden thing. It was, you take 2 weeks, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, 2 inches at a time, and this is just it's unfortunate. I got to say, it's just unfortunate. Again, if there was a rowdiness, if there was a rowdiness or any kind of violent suggestions, then of course. But here you have people they're like literally obsessed with. I mean, you've got a veteran here. I'm gonna go talk to him.
Go for it.
You've got someone here who's like literally fought for.
He brought freedom to Canada.
I'll see if I can say hi to him. He wants to talk.
Yeah, and I'm in the meantime, I'm trying to see if anyone's live in Ottawa because I want to see what the crowd looks like in Ottawa today. Yesterday was.
You're gonna arrest me for getting my charger? Let's find this out. Let me see if I can talk to the gentleman.
And while my brother does that, I've discussed the Brian Peckford last living MP who drafted the Constitution. I've discussed it. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me take this chat away.
Okay, sorry. Dave, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Can you say your name just through the camera?
Yeah, my name is Victor Green, and I'm at Huron Church Road and Tecumseh Road near the Ambassador Bridge, and this is the front line of the main superhighway carrying trade from Canada into Detroit, Michigan. I'm a veteran. I'm ex-Royal Navy, British Royal Navy, and I've been in Canada for 28 years.
British Royal. Okay, wow.
What brings you here today, sir?
What brings you here today?
Well, I've been here every day supporting the people on the ground in protest for the removal of the mandates, because we want them gone, and we need to be free again. The Centre for Disease Control has now admitted that this virus is no worse than a common cold, and so therefore, obviously this is not about health anymore, it's now about control. And if we want our freedom, then we've got to protest and we've got to take it back. And I'm just looking at the main highway now, and there isn't a single vehicle that's passing this point heading into the USA. And this road in front of me carries 500 million, that's $500 million worth of trade each and every day. So the country and the economy are losing a fortune. Now, we've been accused here on this protest, we've been accused of losing jobs and destroying the economy by this blockade. But let me tell you something, for the last 2.5 years, this government, by throwing people out of work and by hurting businesses, have been ruining the economy for the last 2.5 years. And so we feel right here that this is going to be short-term pain for Canada for a long-term gain of freedom. That's what we're here for.
Wow.
I think I and the rest of the chat are in love, sir. Thank you very much for everything.
Okay, thank you. See ya.
Yep. It's you gotta love it. Like, and this is the same crowd, by the way. Veterans, women, children, that the media is depicting the way they've been depicting them. Yeah, the chat loves them. Of course. Oh, look, I have a thing for British accents also. Everything sounds better in British accent.
I'm gonna have to get my charger. Oh, frig, man.
Why? What's your deal?
I want to get my charger, but my phone's gonna die. Actually,
you don't want to put your hands in your pocket?
47% I got. How long is it gonna last me?
Oh, in this cold, it won't last very long. But I think, look, I mean, we've covered it. The world is now seeing in real time what's going on. So everything we get from here on in is gravy.
Okay, good. Let's do it till it drains. And if it gets again, I'm seeing instead of just more activity, because the convoy, there's more trucks.
Hold on. Your audio's chopping in and out. I don't know if that was wind or other.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's just a constant stream of.
Oh no. He appears to be frozen. Dan, if you can hear me, you might have to charge your phone sooner than later. Clip that vet 1000%. And clip is in clip the video. There you go.
The Tim Hortons Wi-Fi took over.
Okay. I thought the government had gotten you. We live in such a time where, like, when anything glitches or goes wrong, right? Immediate reflexive response is to think the government did it or it's censorship, whatever.
It's crazy.
So what were you saying?
I'm gonna see if they'll let me get my charger.
Oh, your charger's in your car.
Well, I have a plug.
I thought you were afraid to put your hands in your pocket because the police would think you were up to no good.
Did you want to be on a live stream on the interwebs? No? Okay. What do you?
Freedom.
Freedom? Okay.
Freedom, man.
From Windsor?
No, I'm in Tilbury now.
Okay. And veteran? No. You a vet?
No.
Veteran? Okay. Thank you.
It's funny because people. So Sudbury is much closer to Windsor, I believe. How far is Sudbury from Windsor, Dan?
How far? I don't know. How far is Sudbury from Windsor? Anybody know?
Hold on, I'm gonna do it right now.
How far is Sudbury from Windsor? I think I might get some of this coffee here. Oh.
So, seems that it's 721 kilometers between Windsor and Sudbury. So I'm an idiot. We all know that I'm not good with geography. Dan, who you got there?
That too. I should know that. Okay, I'm gonna go see if they'll please let me get my.
Hi, I'm Rick.
Hi, Rick.
I'm just out meeting Canadians.
Hey,
What's your
nice to
name?
meet you, Dan.
Dan, pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
You want to be on a live stream?
No.
I'm on the interwebs, okay.
It's okay. But I'm sure, I don't know if you've seen this or heard this before.
What?
Moving?
We got how many are you watching now, Dave?
Oh, we're over 30,000 between YouTube and Rumble.
Dang, man.
Would somebody please get these 20 pieces of silver to Justin Trudeau?
To Justin Trudeau?
Yeah.
Why?
You think about that one for a little bit.
20 pieces of silver.
20 pieces of silver. They're
Justin
nickels.
Trudeau.
To Justin Trudeau. Let me think about this. It's a riddle. He's got a stack of nickels. Give 20.
Silver.
Is it bribery?
No. Yeah. Well, depends how you look at it.
Why would anybody want to give 20 pieces of silver to Justin Trudeau? Can't think of it.
The chat is saying Judas. Then
I want you to think about it.
Okay, we're gonna.
The answer is simple.
Okay, the viewers are gonna answer that for us.
Okay, well, yeah, the chat says Judas. It's a biblical reference, and I think Judas betrayed Jesus.
Oh, is that what? Okay, good to know.
But now, gotta go see. We gotta go see what the chat says was the symbolic representation.
Okay. Let's go see if I can get my charger from the car. If that's gonna be a crime.
It is amazing that these streams that like, I don't know. Well, I know who's streaming in Windsor is his last name. Oh, Aaron Dueck, Aaron Dueck. If anybody else knows anyone else who's live streaming in Windsor consistently, let the chat know so people can follow it. And in Ottawa, just like people are consistently live streaming pretty much 24/7. So nothing's going to happen that's not going to be pretty well documented, and people can live this who can't be there.
Well, and I wonder about that. Like, I wonder if the fact that the police are like under constant surveillance with these live stream, if that's affecting the how they enforce things now, because it really their techniques are really like really perfect. A slow strangulation of
So okay, so the reference is that Judas betrayed Jesus for 20 gold coins, but who bribed Judas? In the chat, let us know. I'm not.
I said something about bribery, but I guess that was my partial points. Okay.
Oh, so it says Judas sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. How can you not know that? Well, I can give you one good reason. I don't study the Bible, but without judging, I did. I know that Judas betrayed Jesus. I just didn't know there was actual 20, 30 coins.
I feel weird. Like, okay, you want me to give those coins to Justin? Sure, I'll do it.
Canadian flags are flying this day here in the US. That I can tell you. And people in the chat, I made a joke on Twitter. How long until Justin Trudeau declares the Canadian flag to be a symbol of hate? And I swear to you, La Presse ran an article with a headline that they had to subsequently stealth edit because it invoked rage. And they literally said, let me just get the image because my memory is no good these days. Let me get this out of here. It was so the chat says it was 30 pieces though. Let me just read you the headline from La Presse. When I follow the tweet, when I find the tweet, it was right here. It says le drapeau canadien, symbole de l'extrême droite. The Canadian flag, symbol of the extreme right, or I guess that might be French for alt-right. La Presse opinions. You could make this up, but no one would believe it. And then they edited that title later on to Le Canada s'inspire. No, le Canada inspire l'extrême droite mondiale. Canada is inspiring the global extreme right or the extreme right of the world. There are no words. There are no words for that type of malicious misinformation. Yeah.
And I said before, the unvaccinated as a political class now, okay? And it's a diverse political class. Contrary to what our dear leader has said. When you take away the voice of any society for whatever beliefs they may have that you don't share, you're going to get into a situation where they raise their voice, however that comes across, and it happens to be honking. And everything that I've been taught since law school is everyone gets a voice in this country. And I know in an emergency, sometimes you have to override those rights, but an emergency can't last 2 years. And rolling emergencies aren't the way to do it. And so, when it's just when you have that's when you hear those sounds, that's what you're hearing is the oppression of an unvaccinated group that needs representation at this point, I feel.
All right, now here we go. We got it. It says the Roman officials paid Judas 30 pieces of silver to identify Bont Jesus out in the crowd so they could arrest him. Okay.
The prayer team would have known that here. By the way,
Cuomo vibes from this,
what?
dude. If anybody's getting Cuomo vibes from me and you, Dan, that my reflex would be you might be projecting something into it because if you know anything about my brother and I. Cuomo vibes might be the last thing on earth. We might have Woody Allen neurotic vibes, but none of that deviance.
But I want to talk to this guy here. He's been going back and forth, but I don't know. Got some kids now out here.
Rowdy Rabble, do you think the injunction extends to where you are now, like vis-a-vis the bridge? Are you walking away from it or towards it?
I'm not impeding or blocking anything. No way. No absolute way. If anyone is doing any impeding or blocking right now, it's the OPP, and they're the only ones impeding traffic right now. But obviously, the injunction doesn't apply to them. They're there to enforce the injunction.
Woody Allen in the neuroses aspect. Sir, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. Viva is done. Got it. Motocross. Thank you. Let's see how far-fetched this is. The American flag has been a symbol of the alt-right for how long now? It's 1984, bastardizing of language, changing terms, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength, and peace is war. I mean, I don't know I forget what it was now.
Who are these guys? Oh, hi. Who are you guys with?
We have a 24-hour trucking channel.
24-hour trucking channel? Well, okay. Okay, I gotta get some business while I'm here. Sorry, guys. Because I know some truckers, man. I had a trucker client. These guys are awesome.
I just brought up a chat that said no Cuomo. That's kind of funny, actually.
No Cuomo?
No Cuomo. So was that a big camera behind you that I just saw?
It was a trucker channel. I guess it's a channel for truck. So, sorry. Let me ask you guys. So, who's your audience? Like, where do you stream to, generally?
We're all over the world.
All over the world. Wow.
And we're,
I'm going to live stream now. Is that okay if I put you on live stream?
Go ahead, no problem.
And do you want to do a shout?
Open up your thing.
Do you want to do a shout out to the channel? What's your?
No problem. Let me know when.
Yeah, it's on.
Hey, but how are you?
Good.
Yeah, we are on CPMS 102.7 FM. Monday to
CP?
No, CP. Let's do it this way. This will block the cold. Okay, we're on CKMS 102.7 FM, Kitchener Waterloo for 2 hours in the morning.
Oh, okay.
We're on 770 AM Monday to Friday for 2 hours. Then we have a 24-hour trucking today channel, which is streaming on all over the platforms. We cover all the trucking stories. So we're here to cover a trucking story, what's going on here, what's happening, get their views.
And what have you seen?
Well, we just got here for now. But
okay.
To date is everybody has the right to protest. It's a free country. If they want to say something, they're allowed to say something. They should be able to say something. The only thing we're not happy is that Trudeau should be coming out. Yeah. All this multi-million dollars spent on the security, probably $1 million a day. If we would come out and say, listen, I'll talk to you guys, that would be more than enough. These are human beings who have their views and points. Nobody's causing any problem. Nobody. I haven't seen any.
Well, the block the bridge. The block the bridge caused a problem.
Well, Dan, sir.
Come out and solve it out.
What's his name?
Sorry, what's your name?
It's Baljinder Tamber.
Baljinder.
Well, Jinder, so question, I presume you have access to like back channels of trucker discussion behind the scenes. Is there any word?
We do have a little bit of access. I support every single protest. We're in Canada, one of the best countries to live in. These guys have a right to say whatever they want to say. They don't want to get a vaccine. What's the other alternative? Trudeau should come out. The mayor tried it. Windsor, Doug Ford tried it. What about it's a national problem now? Multi-billion-dollar industry. Plants being shut down. The factories being cut down on production. Shelves are going empty. They are not causing any problem. These guys are not causing any problem. That's why I want to say peaceful protest. Trudeau should come out and say, listen, if they don't have a group leader, let's make a group leader. How long does it take? They're spending millions on consulting. Come and talk to these guys. Say, listen, I want to talk to you. How can we solve this? Simple as that. But he's not coming out and talking. He wants to keep his head up, and these guys are keeping their head up.
So, and just for the record, that's that's the same concern a lot of the lawyers have, is that, the fact that there's such a significant class now of society that is not getting heard and is not even being dealt with like in any respectful fashion whatsoever. It's really the concern now. So,
well, especially in the trucking industry, the way these guys are driving 24/7, they're out on the road 7 days a week, 15 days a week, depends on which triangle they're driving at. They can't go to a washroom when they go into a building. If they're late half an hour, they're told to wait outside for 4 hours. There's such a huge mess in the industry that needs to be cleaned out. We think the truck drivers are just okay. They sit on the steering wheel and they go and get the money and come back. No. These guys are up day and night. They're away from their families. Nobody listens to them. Maybe now they can listen to their problems.
No, and most people don't realize, like, it's not like truckers are running around gallivanting at hotel rooms and like sightseeing. They sleep in their trucks, right, sir?
In every protest, there is a minor problem. We have these so many parades going on. People make little mistakes. People get hyper. They might show different signs. Okay, they stop honking the horns. They stop showing the signs. Okay, they're not causing any problem. All Trudeau's got to do is come out, listen to them. I bet you if he can't find a leader, let's make a leader. What's he hiding about? So, what do you think? These guys are frontline workers. They're driving. Who's giving them vaccine while they were driving? They can't cancel an appointment. If they cancel one appointment, it takes them 3 days to get the next load. So there's so much understanding to be done with these truck drivers. A lot of these guys are nice family people. They have their right what they want to put in their bodies. We don't have the full scientific results on any medicine or any injections we're putting in. First it was 1, now it's 2, then it's 3. What's going to be 4 and 5? Then we get a free car wash. What's it going to be? So people have concerns. People have right to protest. I don't see any violence over any. These guys are standing still.
I got to emphasize this emergency, provincial-wide emergency for this. If this is now the standard and the precedent for a province-wide emergency, and lawyers aren't standing up for this, there's going to be some serious problems in this country, because this is not, from what I'm seeing on the ground here, this emergency order should have been maybe a day.
The major issue, sorry, I'm going to cut in, is okay. They said the guys are waiting 15 hours over there in their trucks. The guys are waiting 2 days in the trucks. Okay, he takes a load, which is $10,000 to go across. Now he's waiting 20 hours to deliver that load. Who's going to cover that wait time or wages for the companies? Who's going to pay those small companies that's supposed to deliver the load? Is Trudeau going to do it? Is he going to cover that wait time? The loss that these small companies, trucking companies are, facing every day, every minute. Why isn't he coming out and listening to these guys? Nothing but a peaceful protest. Nothing but a peaceful protest.
Ask sir, one more time. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Well, our channel is called Trucking Today TV. We're going to be live very soon. Then we have a Virasat TV and a Virasat Radio. We're on 770 AM. You can find us on the web, truckingtoday.ca. Also, you can find us on CKMS 102.7 FM. You can find us on the Niagara Fall Festival, which happens every year in the summertime. So I do a lot of free stuff, a lot of volunteer stuff. I love this country, best country to live in, but this stuff should not have happened. Trudeau's got to come out. He's got to get his ego out, come out and talk to these guys. It will be solved probably in 4 hours.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. No, Dan, the issue is they've gotten away with the public emergencies for the last 2 years. This is just now, they've diluted what it means to declare a state of emergency. So just declare it here, declare it there. They got away with it for 2 years. Issue whatever diktats they want under the guise of an emergency that go for 30 days to 2 years. And they got away with it. And the courts ratified it by and large. So
I'm just going to give up my card out here because it looks like there might be an arrest, and I want to make sure. Do you have a
do not record the individual being arrested because you don't want to be a witness in a case in which you are acting as attorney.
I'm not.
They're trying to arrest people for mischief.
So far, there's no threats, but it's in case they decide to escalate.
Why, you a lawyer?
I work in association with.
Oh, nobody likes lawyers. Nobody likes lawyers until they need one. That's I'd say generally the same thing.
By the way, the lawyers are the ones that told Ford not to seize commercial light truck licenses just yet because it's illegal. So apparently there's some weird law preventing the seizure right now, at least. But that
look, they'll find a way to turn that into an offense-related property that they can then seize because they're using their trucks for mischief, like they did with the Give, Send, Go. But the other issue is, like, I heard someone say that on the street while talking on the phone. I think they were trying not to look at me, but and I'm thinking to myself, take their licenses away, you fools. I mean, that's a great strategy, but try to implement it into tactic. What are you going to do? You still have to tow all these trucks out of there, slash their tires like some idiot CNN anchor was suggesting. You still got to move the trucks, and now they have flat tires. So good idea. It doesn't accomplish anything other than exacerbate the problem.
Just to show you what a good law-abiding citizen I am, I have to charge my phone, but I didn't even put my charger down on the property. I put it on the sidewalk because I want to comply. Okay.
You can't comply your way out of tyranny, Dan, to quote what everyone tells me on the interwebs. Too many people saying that from behind the comfort of their own screens, telling other people, don't comply, go out and get yourself arrested. And that's.
Well, I don't know. That's an expensive, time-consuming proposition, But anyhow, I think so far everyone seems to be behaving, so just keep it that way. I'm trying to find my plug. Sorry, give me a minute.
Don't worry about it. Go for it. It's interesting. I mean, if they'll break up the protest at the Ambassador Bridge. We'll have to see what's going on at Coots. And by the way, everyone should be following Rebel News. Their Twitter handle is Rebel News Online. You got Ezra Levant, Alexa Lajoie, David Menzies, Lincoln J. And then they have some on site. I forget her name now. Isabel is on site, I believe, on the Ambassador Bridge. They've got some in Coots. So you could see live what's going on in a number of areas. But it's amazing. Just if you're relying on CBC or any legacy Canadian media, you're ill-informed, misinformed, totally ignorant, or willfully so. So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you, Mr. Frei, for doing this broadcast from Windsor today. It is so very important for us to see this and to have your analysis. Thank you. Minimal analysis. I mean, you can get some legal, we're understanding the legalities of what's going on, and how you implement an injunction, how you notify the people who are there of the terms of the injunction. So if they ask you to move because you can't comply your way out of it. You know what else is not going to do anything? Getting arrested for breaching a court order after an officer says, be out of here. So you may win in 2 years, but to the victor go the spoils.
Why don't they appoint more independent personnel, like lawyers that don't have really a stake in this necessarily? They do, but someone to really make sure that everyone's, basically someone to police the police in a way. But
no, that's what you call the Coast Guard for, to quote Homer Simpson. Every day is a new day, Trudeau. No matter who is pulling your strings, no matter what they promised you, it's never too late to repent and become a patriot. I think it's too late for Trudeau to the mess that he's done, the hole that he's dug here. He's just got to walk back, step back, and say, he's the only way he's saving face and getting out of this, I think, is by resigning. But I think he's going to get booted from the party before he's going to resign, because when to that tweet earlier, Dan, about the people trying to dox the cop who they didn't like the way he responded. when you start doing that, and you're going to notice probably a lot more cops who are going to become more vocal in supporting their brethren against mob mentality injustice. And once the police are not willing to enforce the orders that are coming from the top down, that's when it's over. But I think Trudeau, he's going to get ousted from his party. Jagmeet Singh is going to get ousted from his party. It's just a matter of time. So, but he's got too much of an ego to actually try to do this in a dignified manner.
So there's ambulance there. I'm not sure why. There's ambulance across me, and again, I want to be clear. Right now, the emergency is manufactured because the bridge is closed because of the police, not because of any protesters. I just need that should be clear to whoever's watching. There's no protesters on the bridge at this point.
Thank you, Viva Bros. This is the first time in history that I've seen Quebecers join in solidarity with Ontarians. Well, in fairness, my brother was born in Quebec, so yeah. Well, I suspect there's probably. I mean, if we can get an aerial, I'm going to go online and see if we can get an aerial of the Ambassador Bridge. I suspect there's still big rigs there, and they're probably slowly. Let me see this here. They're slowly making way by opening up the bridge. Hold on one second. 500. We just hit 500,000 subs. That's fantastic on YouTube.
500,000 subs.
Oh, and by the way, there's no live stream tonight because of the Super Bowl. Not Barnes is into the Super Bowl, and I know a lot of Americans are. I am absolutely indifferent to the Super Bowl to the extent I don't get the American commercials, which I don't, because my party this year is not happening, and they got the American ads. But thank you, Catherine Smith, and Booyah. Thank you all for this. This has been amazing.
Are we all getting pushed? Like, is the goal to get everyone?
I'm just talking to you. I have no idea.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Your audio's cutting in and out, so I don't know if it's wind or something. You.
8 a.m. There were protesters who were there. Police had a barricade up. They started going over the barricade at about just before 8 a.m. The police did. They told anyone who was still there that they would be arrested if they didn't leave. We did see most of the protesters who were still there this morning. They did choose to leave peacefully. There were a few people arrested as we saw the police advance. We saw a man taken out of a red pickup truck, and he was arrested. In total, 12 people were arrested. So that all happened down the street from where I am now. In the background there, you can see the Ambassador Bridge. The police advanced up that street this morning, and where we are now is the intersection of Huron Church and Tecumseh in Windsor. This has been a place where people who supported the blockade and the main protest down the road have been gathering throughout the week, and we do see that a little bit here right now. There's a few dozen people here who are supportive of the protest, still standing here on the sidewalk. You also see a lot of presence here too, a lot of cars in that parking lot there, and then here in the main intersection as police try to get this road reopened.
Pretty good. That's fair. I didn't know 12 people got arrested. Good to know.
Ask her, Dan, if you can get her. Ask her how she knows how many people got arrested.
I'm not even gonna bother.
Well, ask her what news outlet she's from.
Ask her from what?
Ask her what news outlet she's with.
No, I asked her before. She wouldn't talk to me.
Oh, so that's CBC.
He was brother. That's right. You want to be on?
Yeah. So while people were tracking down Viva in Ottawa, I tracked down you.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm watching.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Look at that.
and I've got screenshots. So vivabarneslaw.locals.com. My favorite Sunday. Everybody in the house has to be quiet while I watch, and I've been following you since 7,000 subs. So congratulations on 500,000 and freedom.
Thank you very much. Now, just make sure that she knows there's no live stream tonight because of the Super Bowl. It's a Tuesday night, people.
I've got you booked, and the reminder set for tomorrow night.
Awesome. Now, and ask her. Have you been on the streets for this protest for any extended period of time?
Not for any extended period of time. For reasons I don't necessarily want to go into, but putting myself at risk of incarceration is not an option. So I've been supporting in other ways. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. And so you were from Toronto or from Windsor?
I'm from Windsor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Godspeed.
Bye.
So that's funny because so the CBC reports that people were jumping the barrier or breaching the barrier. 12 arrests. Dan, you got to ask the police officers if anybody got arrested.
Yeah, let me go.
This is real time fact checking, people. In fairness, I say this is real time fact checking of fake news. We'll see. 12 people arrested actually sounds like quite a lot. I'd like to know if that's true. Oh, Dan was just on Aaron's feed. Oh, that's funny. So Aaron Dueck is streaming now, and apparently Dan was my brother was in the background somewhere.
Well, I don't want to get you. Hold on. I want to cut off the audio with copyright claims.
That doesn't matter.
I'm trying to ask a police officer.
It is. Sorry, that's not the chat I meant to bring up. It's Tuesday night. The Sunday night live stream is on Tuesday. I think Barnes is in transit tomorrow as well. We are already winning. Yeah, no, it's the tide is changing for sure.
Hi.
What, still up for your walk?
Yeah. Gotta get in good shape. Is it true 12 people were arrested? Okay, they're not answering, not confirming the arrest, but this guy can't hang out in the parking lot playing music. The coin wash. Like I said, the landlord here has the right to kick off anybody he wants from the property, and he can appoint the police to be his agents to do that. There's no constitutional right to occupy private property, as far as I'm aware.
Well, here's someone says, I caught someone with a Confederate flag yesterday at the Jarry Park rally in Montreal. To see my friendly confrontation, go to Facebook, Alfie R.E. Meyer. Alfie, thank you. And that's what should happen.
You want to be on a live stream?
Oh, yeah.
You want to be on? Viva Frei, do you know him?
Yeah, we can.
My brother. Where are you guys from?
Oh, you're from Congo.
Congo, okay.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Bart.
Bart. And you live in Windsor now?
Yes, I live in Windsor.
And what line of work do you do?
But I don't want to be.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Should I?
About that.
Okay. And you're here for the day?
Yes, I'm here just for that.
Very good. Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
I only judge the Canon camera. I'm a Nikon man. Un divan rouge sur le BS became un divan rouge.
He's got some good vocals. He's got some good vocals.
So hold on, the cops are not confirming how many people have been arrested. So I mean, this is where we're going to go, not with citizen journalism, but rather the aggregate knowledge of the internet. I presume people can verify recent arrests in Windsor so that the. Say it again.
Yeah, no, they can't. They can only steer him off the property. I guess they can probably arrest him at some point if he doesn't get off fast enough.
Mm-hmm. Let me just see here.
But I guess
curiosity killed the cat. Pride killed everything else, and we have a beautiful little Westie in the avatar. Thank you.
No white shirt, no stripes.
No one's confirmed. OPP is not confirming the arrest here. We can't get a 12 person arrested confirmation. I think Durham. We got who's Durham or who's the other police here?
Oh, that's good. That's another good question because in Ottawa they had the OPP, Ottawa Police.
Nobody knows. Hundreds. There could have been hundreds of arrests. We don't know. Anybody know how many people were arrested? 2. I got 2. Anybody? Anybody higher than 2?
It's the fake news auction. We got to. Can we get to 12 by the end of CBC? Anybody who can confirm this or has access, let us know how many people were arrested at the Windsor Ambassador Bridge. 12 sounds like a lot.
Okay, this is a new question I'm asking CBC. I want to know how she got her 12.
And over what period of time? Because if it's 12 over 2 weeks or 12 over a year.
Or maybe she said there are reports that 12 people have been arrested. I think maybe that's. How did you get your 12 people arrested? Which one?
There's a media.
Okay, they're not talking to me.
No, you have to go to the media liaison, Dan.
Okay, they don't talk to a guy with a scruffled beard.
No, because the police sometimes they have an official media liaison for the police. That.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, thank you. She did mention the officer mentioned it stripes. Like, I want to go for a walk here. Are they gonna? It's like this fear, right? Like I don't even know. Can I cross there? No.
Well, you'll find out. So, like, Dan, is the crowd getting bigger now?
The crowd is somewhat bigger, but I'm feeling kind of a bit lightheaded because I haven't drank. I slept 4 hours last night, and I had like 3 cups of coffee. So, and I'm triple vaxxed. I'm a comedian.
God. Yeah, now don't fall over, Dan. You fall over and crack your skull. You'll make internet history.
You joke.
And
but, okay.
by the way, everyone has seen that video of the stand-up comic making the joke and then collapsing right after she makes it. To the individual who gave me the Red Bull yesterday in Ottawa, thank you very much. But I have learned a lesson. The big can is too much for me. I have to stick to the small can because I was jittery when I got home like it was nobody's business. I love how there's still people who accuse me of shilling. And that wasn't it. Where was it? Shilling, as if people don't appreciate the difference between shilling and just hard work. Here, I don't know what shill means. I don't know if it's humorous, sarcastic, or tongue-in-cheek, but nobody has to do anything here. This is just I would be doing this if no one were watching. There's also a difference between shilling and hard work. And I gotta say, my brother driving 3.5 hours to get to Windsor because I can't is hard work. Thank you, Dan.
I'm here as a witness. Oh, this guy's okay. This guy's making friendly contact.
Who is he? He must be a cop or something.
Show for the schmeckles. That's disgusting.
Important, I think the world, whoever's watching, in terms of law enforcement, like they're not going bat poop crazy on us, okay? Like it's possible in France. If this was France, maybe they'd come out here with armored vehicles. There was 1 or 2, but they're not going nuts. So it's a Canadian way. It's like, oh sorry, and they keep taking these steps.
Yeah, no, look, Viva on the streets has a job to do. No, but there's no question. Like it's just like if they move a foot forward, nobody's going to bump chests. It would be, and what are you going to do? You're going to get a line of protesters to like, that would be a good image. Just to have a line of protesters not moving as the police move forward. They'll end up kissing by the end of it. It will be world peace in real time.
Let's see if these dogs are friendly. Are they friendly dogs? I've learned that from you. See, I know how to approach a dog friendly. Hey, buddy.
So Artel over here.
I've gotten bitten by a couple of dogs.
Beautiful huskies. Oh, look at those eyes.
Oh,
Make sure they don't eat poop before you kiss them.
He smells my dog. That's why.
Dan, you'll learn the hard way after you kiss a dog that smells like poo-poo, and then you'll ask, "Does your dog eat poop?" And they're like, "Oh yeah." You might not want to kiss him. So that's it. So it's more of the same. This is what's going on at Windsor today. The actual bridge itself. I mean, I presume, Dan, nobody can access the Ambassador Bridge itself on foot now.
So I asked one of the cops if I could get on the bridge for a walk, and they said no, you can never cross the bridge by foot. But then I asked someone who used to live here, a lawyer actually, and he said, yeah, you could. When he was here, you could walk across the bridge. So I don't know.
Dan, apparently Aaron Dueck, who's live streaming, is within 10 feet of you. If you're not too embarrassed to do it, shout out for Andrew Dueck so we can actually ask him how things are going. He's been on the scene.
I don't know where Andrew Dueck is. You know Andrew Dueck? No. Want to be on a live stream? We're here, folks. I don't know where Andrew Dueck is.
All right. Well, anyway, so Andrew Dueck is the dude who's been streaming for a long time at Windsor or documenting, and he's doing good work. If anybody wants to keep up to date with Ottawa, with Windsor, but it does look like Windsor is I'll say fizzling out. It looks like they've got it under control via the court system, and the protesters are not going to not comply with the court order and be in contempt by the looks of it. So we'll see what happens in Ottawa now.
Is that Dueck?
Only one way to find out.
Are you Dueck?
Live streaming, yep.
You're Dueck?
No.
Looking for the other guy live streaming here. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said it's Aaron, not Andrew Dueck. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
All right. Well, look.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's it. I'm just here to
walk about a little more. See if you can ask any police officers anything, or if there's anybody who wants to talk. And everyone can now see you've seen it. I want to go see what's going on in Ottawa. So you keep walking for 1 second. I'm gonna see. So, by the looks of it, ZOT is not currently live. Let's go to Travel Fund, see if he's live.
You okay to talk on the interwebs?
I suppose.
Okay. What's your name?
Scott.
Scott, nice to meet you. This is live stream. How many are live streaming now, Dave?
We're still around 30,000 watching live.
30,000.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So what do you have to say to the world? What are you here for?
I don't know. Just to see it, I suppose.
You live in Windsor?
No, I just live kind of on the outskirts of town.
Okay. And have you been affected by mandates at work?
Well, I mean, everybody has. You know, we've all lost time. I'm sick of it. You know, I am.
How have you felt most impacted? Well, how's your life been affected? I mean,
Well,
besides not being able to go.
I'll tell you a story about the person I work for. She's 82 years old now, and just recently she's kind of come down with Alzheimer's disease, right? Well, she had it like a couple of years ago, but now she's so bad that basically she's going into a nursing home probably in the next couple of weeks, right? And she just spent 2 years, couldn't see her grandchildren, the last 2 decent years of her life, right? Couldn't see her grandchildren, couldn't go out anywhere, couldn't get her hair done, so just lived a shitty, worthless life for 2 years. And I'll tell you, I'm totally sick of it. We've all lived this life for 2 years now, and we're just plain tired of it. It's got to end. I don't even.
So here, my issue with this is that it seems like the nature of the pandemic, regardless of lockdowns, a pandemic is going to do that to a population. This is the issue. I don't know if there's a way a pandemic, right?
We should have just let it run its course to begin with anyway. I mean, pandemics, you just go through anything, Ebola, whatever it is in Africa or here or whatever. It runs through 6 or 8 months or a year or whatever. It goes up on a curve, flatten the curve, right? Goes up on a curve and comes down, and that's it.
No, so for Ebola, they didn't mess around with. Remember that one? They took really on hardcore, right? You can't.
Yeah.
So, okay, I hear you.
And by the way, sir, I was interviewing someone yesterday in Ottawa, and she literally burst into tears. She hasn't been able to see her family. It's when I turned the camera away for anybody who was watching yesterday. Couldn't see family, couldn't see friends, couldn't see grandkids. What kind of life is that?
One extent or another. I mean, there was times when I wanted to go see my parents, and we're gonna walk down right now, and so I can't. Enough is enough. It's been 2 years. It's supposed to be like 2 weeks, flatten the curve, and here we are. It's 2 years later, and it's still not over. I mean, this is ridiculous.
It is the tough. I would not want to be government in a pandemic because you're dealing with. It's caught between a rock and a hard place. You let people see each other, then she's the most vulnerable. She's gonna, right? So what do you do? Maybe you let people decide exactly how to structure the risk, right?
If you want to do it yourself, then fine. Anybody who wants to stay home and doesn't want to go anywhere, I say that's great. Do that if you think that's what you got to do. But I mean, I'm not sick. I haven't been sick yet.
Did you get
2 years?
Did you get the jab?
Of course not. No.
Am I the only one who triple vaxxed you?
I don't want to die. Are you triple vaxxed?
Oh yeah.
Dan, you'll learn.
I would never get that. I mean, I've read too much now that no, it's. I mean, you look at the reports. They're talking about in England, their National Health Service, they release their statistics on like who's dying and their excess death statistics. And they say that the vaccinated people are dying at like 2.5, 3 times the rate from all causes. Cancer, everything, 2.5, 3 times what the unvaccinated are. And I mean, that's got to tell you there is an effect going on,
Well, the CTV has updated their numbers according to Health Canada, and in terms of adverse effects, side effects. But the bottom line is you're right. It's to each their own. You do what you think you need to do to protect yourself. You don't need me to lock down if you want to lock down, and you don't, in theory, you don't need me to do anything if you've done what you think is required for your own body. So, but thank you for being there.
Thank you very much.
No
Stay
problem.
well. Stay well.
Have a good day.
Dan, you might. You'll. I don't know.
Wait, sorry. We want to move where?
Yeah, I think everyone should move the town to the corner over here, where people can see us. These dickheads will follow us.
Sorry, Dan. Background. What's the gas where you are? Just for everybody in the States. What does the gas cost behind you?
The gas cost? Oh, I don't know. Probably 160, 159.
$1.60.
Yeah.
All right. And by the way, so from what I can see on the interwebs, Adam Nucci, ADAMNUCCI, like Gucci with an N, is going to be live from Ottawa in 6 minutes.
Okay, that's about how much battery I have left.
Yeah, no, and we'll call it here. I mean, look, we've seen it. It's you've been out there for 2 hours, and it's. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. It's only -6, Dan. Come on, or at least according to Siri.
One thing I
I'm
did
joking.
want to, and I don't mean to be I wanted to raise this because the previous gentleman talked about the safety, the ongoing monitoring of the safety of vaccines. There is I don't know if people know about it, the Federal Vaccine Injury Support Program. You guys know about it? Ever heard of this?
What?
Nobody heard about it.
Federal Vaccine
Injury Support Program?
Injury Support Program.
This?
Never heard of it. What is
Nobody
it?
knows about it. It's a federal program for people who've been injured by the vaccines.
Well, yeah, but they'll never admit that ever was.
No, they do. It's just,
But Dan, this predates. So this has existed for years. This is not strictly new, correct?
I don't know if the federal government, if the federal program, Dave, existed. I think it was created for. Somebody can correct me on that one. I think it was created. The COVID vaccine inspired it.
What's it called? Let me just Google this while you're talking.
Vaccine. Look at the. It's called Public Health Agency of Canada. It's called the Vaccine Injury Support Program. It has a nice website. It's managed by Grant Thornton, and it's basically a court for people who've experienced injuries. And again, I'm not here to tell anyone to get vaccinated or not vaccinated. It's not my job. My job as a concerned citizen lawyer is just to everyone have all the knowledge available to them. And this is something the federal government made available as part of their information available to the public. It's a program that pays for serious injuries that I think it's defined as having been hospitalized or permanently disabled or killed by a vaccine. It's very rare, but
well, I'm just going to bring up the screen. I just want to make sure that I've only got I've only got vlog stuff in the background. So hold on 1 second. Let me see if I've got this in. I'm going to bring this up so everybody can see it, and I'm going to bring it up on the proper.
If you have been injured or know someone who has, you should make that resource available. I've spoken to physicians who just are swamped and they don't have the time right now to help people fill out these applications. But make your voice heard in that regard. And again, there's probably not a lot of you, but everyone.
Is it, Dan, look at the screen. Is it this?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So it's government website, vaccineinjurysupport.ca/English, and I guess they have a French version as well. And
hook anybody out, but just so you fully informed, talk to your doctor about it. About the vaccine and if there's been an injury. But my concern was that it's only been in existence since for the COVID vaccine since June of 2021, and so they only report up to the end of November on how many applications they've received and how many injuries they've paid out on. And I think it was 5 at last check. But my concern was that Singapore, which also has an injury insurance program, basically, much smaller population, they paid out 300 claims. My concern was why is the federal why is Canada and the U.S. too? Why have they paid out so few in relation to Singapore? Is it because the criteria are stricter, or it's because people don't know about it? My thought from having spoken to a lot of physicians about this program is that nobody really knows about it, and people should. And if people have been rejected from the program, then they need to reach out. And you can look me up, and I can help you guide you through the appeals process. But it's an important tool that people need to have be aware of.
I'm looking at the back here to make sure that we're not getting to see if you even get in trouble on the interwebs for advising the citizens of government programs that exist for their benefit. It's interesting. So I'm reading some of the chats, but I can't verify any of it, and I can't verify what Pat King said about Zot and anybody else. And I stay away from internet rumors. I was going to say, so it's interesting. Look it up. I want to see when it was created, but yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
You want to be on the interwebs?
Yeah, man.
Oh, good to see you. I'm Viva Frei's brother.
How's it going? You're from Montreal, right?
That's right.
Yeah, watching your live since you guys started.
Oh, very good. So where are you from? What's your name?
I'm from Windsor. I grew up in here, born and raised.
Nice.
Actually, right near the border here. I have 2 brothers that live in the state, so this is a big deal for both of us. The one thing I did want to say, though, is Justin did say that we're a fringe minority. For such a fringe minority, How the hell did we cost the country billions, and actually not even the country, the world, billions and billions of dollars? I think that becomes a majority, no? So we're the majority. You're the 22% minority government. So you go take your minority government and shove it up your ass.
And I'll tell you what, sir, you haven't been to Ottawa. Ottawa yesterday, people were streaming in to the Parliament Hill from all streets. It was shoulder to shoulder, human traffic on the streets. People from all walks of life, women, men, children, all religions, all races, all ethnicities, Indigenous, Black, everyone.
Everything.
And so,
100% true. I've been down here every day supporting. I wasn't going to come today because I didn't know what was going on. Then I tune into you guys and I'm like, I got to get down here. It's hopping. But no, the diversity out here is crazy. You know, whether you're white, African-American, Asian descent, you know, the religion, it doesn't matter. We're here to support Canada.
It seems to me the relevant criteria, or what people are down here for, is just to have a discussion be heard, regardless of you know, whatever.
Oh, I think our discussion's been heard. Now changes need to be made, and then we will move. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, thanks a lot. Have a good one. Ciao.
What's your thing again?
Daniel.
Daniel?
Okay.
and let's do that. I think we'll wind up. I mean, 2 hours is quite enough, and thank you for doing this. Now you're driving. You're heading back. You got you got a 4-hour drive ahead of you.
Yep.
Well, you saw. What do you think of it, Dan? What was your experience now witnessing?
Overall, I'll admit something. If this was if this was my country and I was a dictator, let's just say, I'm not saying this is a dictatorship, but this is how you do it. There's no violence. It's a very calm, slow, step by step, you know, pushing people back. It's the right wrong approach, but this is exactly what they're doing. I'm going to stick around for a bit just because I want to see how the law enforcement how this actually goes down, just for my own edification. And ensure that if anybody's injured, that they have some, or arrested, or talk to some people just to see if they have any, other concerns, just to make sure that their voice is heard. So,
and I'll address this. Is there really that much diversity at these protests? Here, I'll tell you this. Given Canadian demographics, there's overrepresentation. But I hate that we are compelled to look at a crowd now and look at people by identity politics just because of the accusations of racism, xenophobia, transphobia that have been leveled by these loose-tongued, lizard-tongued politicians. So yes, it's been overrepresentation in all aspects at these protests. All right, man, Dan. I think everyone in the chat appreciates it. I'm gonna bring you out, and I'll wind up with the chat. And
peace,
call
bro.
me on the way back, man.
Okay, we'll do. Ciao.
All right, bye bye. Okay, well that's perfect, guys. That was beautiful. And here's the amazing thing. My brother and I are not 1,000% ideologically aligned on things in life, and yet we still 1,000% discourse with one another, love each other, and respect each other's diverging beliefs where they diverge, and we respect the fact that we agree where we agree. So apparently there's a person named Zoke who's streaming in Ottawa as well. I don't want to get into the rumors. If Zot is a 16-year-old kid, from what I understand, so there's always internet drama that's afoot, but I try to avoid that. I can tell you one thing: I have left enough of an internet social media footprint that people can verify that I'm not Mossad, that I'm not Intel, and I got to tell you, I would probably rather be fishing. Except this is so damn exciting to be part of this. To be just documenting this. I'm not an active participant in a sense, but I guess I am, because just documenting reality is itself an act of defiance to preserve reality despite the lies that are out there. And we're witnessing it. It's an amazing, beautiful thing to be witnessing. Let me see if I can get some questions in the chat. Well, I accept compliments. Thank you very much. I suppose it's easy to claim lack of diversity or presence of diversity at these protests with no facts either way. Well, you can go watch 35 hours of facts of my live streams if you want. You can go watch yesterday. I can give you the names of the people I've interviewed who represent all demographics of society. Big Bull, Big Bear, a Kuwaiti driver, Romanian drivers, a Haitian immigrant, a retired nurse, war veterans of all walks of life, pregnant women who were there, children, French Canadians, English Canadians, Canadians who immigrated from the Philippines, all there and proud to be there. So Don't believe, if you don't trust me, trust your own eyes. And you've got 30 some odd hours of unedited live stream, unselected, I would say unsupervised in a sense, because if things had, if I'd seen a Yahtzee flag, I would not have been able to erase it, nor would I have even erased it, because I don't believe in erasing reality. I don't believe in erasing or editing what actually happened. So you can go watch it for yourself. Viva, you are a national treasure for the awake. Do you know or have run into anyone with my name? It's French and my family migrated in from Canada. Ponton. No, but a ponton is isn't that a flotation device? Michael Brasco, hey Marguerite, I'll get you another night with Jagger if you get your son to back off. Okay. Sorry, now I get what I'm reading. Okay, forget it. Viva Frei is the best videographer. He is unbiased and clear of drama. Look, I may not be unbiased. I'm definitely pro-freedom. I've been complaining about these things for a year and a half. But I will listen to the opposing views. I will listen to the counter-protesters and try to respond to their arguments. I listened to the guy who was protesting on Parliament Hill, who wants the truckers to go home, saying that the people living in the residential areas are getting harassed and they have people defecating or urinating on the porches and yada yada. And we discussed it, and I asked him the obvious questions. How do you know it's the truckers? How do you know it's not what otherwise occurs in Ottawa? Ottawa's not has some issues as a city in the best of times. Viva, please give a shout out to the PPC Discord server. We need our voices in more venues. I don't know what a Discord server is. I know the word because I hear it. I'm not on any Discord servers. I can't do any other platforms. But shout out to the PPC Discord server coming from PPC on Discord. Thank you for interviewing the anti-protesters. Look, so long as you're not going to beat me up, I'll talk with anyone. I don't mind verbal violence. I don't mind being called any name under the sun, as you can see from the chats that I will willingly bring up. So to the extent it remains non-violent, even if it's abusive discourse, I'll put up with it. I want to hear it. And more importantly, it's important to know who espouses the verbal abusive discourse. Where will Trudeau flee to? Yeah, I think Ezra Levant ran a humorous Twitter poll. Cuba, China, what were the other two? There was a humor one there. I forget which, but oh yeah, Epstein Island was one of the other ones. Yeah, the Epstein Island the business to Epstein Island has dried up, so to speak. We're still good on the YouTubes, which is nice. I mean, it's unbelievable what you have to fear discussing on the Interverse. Like, can we even discuss a website of a government program that is there for specific purposes? Thus far, it looks like we can. When am I back to Ottawa? We're going to see what the week holds. I'm not rushing down to if the police come down to rush in there and become a participant in this. I'd definitely love to go back. I would not mind if it's warmer than the last time. And I'll tell you this, and I'm not saying this to be glib. I'm reluctant. I wish, I don't want anyone thinking I'm going down to get the hey Viva cheers and hugs on the street. I love it, but I want to document, and it is not about ego. And my concern is that might be getting distracting from the movement. Someone made an awesome meme on our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community, and it was the Canadian flag, but sort of with the fro and my white glasses on it, and so it looked like the new avatar. But I'm not trying to co-opt any part of this movement. I just want to document it, and I just want people. I want people to be able to see it with their own eyes. So when they say that it's a white nationalist, white supremacist, intolerant, hate-filled group, you can go watch it. Yesterday, I mean, yes, there's the F Trudeau. There's the F maple leaf flag CK Trudeau sign. I can understand people find that offensive. I would say grow up, get some thicker skin. But then, you go to the counter-protester side, and there's gas white nationalists. There's any slew of abusive slurs on their signs. It's if you watch the video from yesterday, it was nothing but Canadian flags, the F Trudeau flags. People are saying that, yes, but there's no Confederate flags, there's no Yahtzee flags, and they got that one image, the two images from 2.5 weeks ago that they still have used to define the movement, and that makes them liars, and that makes anybody who believes that gullible, duped, or willfully dishonest. We want to hire you, your dad and brother, for our court case. Not me. I am not taking new mandates. I'm not taking law stuff. That's not in my spirit anymore. But my brother in Ontario is a lawyer. My dad's still practicing as well. So let's see what we got here. Oh, Ponton last name in Ontario. I typically try not to ask people their last names, even when we do the Viva on the streets. But Ponton, I'm going to see what it means in French. I know. Oh, yeah. So Adam Nucci's live. I can see it now. So everybody feel free and go over and support Adam Nucci, Zot, Travel Fund 69, Autowalks. I don't know who Zoke is. I haven't seen it, so not vetting quality. But those are the individuals I've met personally thus far. Let me see something here. It's going to bother me if I don't get an answer. Ponton in French. And I hear the door up. Ponton in French means a pontoon. Okay, well, close enough. Viva is true. Well, Viva is truth only because Viva just records reality. And it's tough to spin what you see with your own eyes. It's just very easy to shut your eyes. Go Viva Go. Love to your brother, man. Thank you very much. Okay, so with that said, people, this was wonderful. I'm glad my brother could make it down because I cannot make an 8.5-hour drive. I think I just saw a tweet from Nick Ricada who was traveling, and I could relate to his tweet. It says, you know, when you travel without your family, it's a very, very lonely thing, even if it's an overnighter. And if I would have, you know, in a different world, I would have no problem traveling 8.5 hours, spending as long there as necessary, then coming back. But got the kids, got 2 special needs dogs, can't leave all that with my wife, with some other, you know, everything else in the background that's going on and stressful these days. Thanks, bro. We all support you as well. That is Travel Fund 69. Thank you, Travel. Let the chat know when you're going live again, because you know, we're seeing it looks like the Windsor Ambassador Bridge is winding down. I like the way my brother says it. You know, if a tyrannical government's going to do the wrong thing the right way, this is how you do it. You don't go full Tiananmen Square. You just you know, get your courts to issue the court orders. You know, ex parte if need, as they did with Give Send Go, but in person, even better, because you can't say you were not heard. You cannot say the principle of audi alterum partem has not been respected. We've always been at war with Oceania. So I was just saying something. Oh yeah, so if you're gonna do the wrong thing the right way, that's the way they do it. They're not. I didn't mean to bring that up. One of them is paralyzed in the back legs, Pudge, and Winston is blind, but very functional. But Winston's sleeping behind. You know what? Let's end with Vincent. Vincent's my brother-in-law. Let's end with Winston, the dog. Get over here. Oh, my back. Oh, my back's killing me. My back. Oh, this is Winston. I just woke him up. Winston, what do you have to say to the world? Well, that might be the cutest thing on earth. People, thank you very much for everything. 500,000 is... I'm not really a fan. You know, I like milestones, but I love round numbers. That's a nice round number. Thank you all for everything, and I'll be back in Ottawa sooner than later. Hopefully things don't go south, and hopefully things do not get stifled. My concern is if this gets stifled and no progress is made, it will be stifling the spirit of Canada right now. Because despite all the bullcrap media out there, I've never been, the last 2 years have been very difficult to say I'm proud to be Canadian. This has brought an increased sense of patriotism in me, an increased love for the flag, optimism, because I haven't had very much optimism for the last 2 years. If this gets quelled and suppressed and stifled, I think people's will for freedom will be sufficiently stifled as well. Trudeau is not the guy to lead us forward. Leaders never tear down. They always build up and think of others first. Shameful behavior from all levels of government. Hold the line. The world is watching. People are screaming upstairs. Okay, with that said, thank you. Oh, mailed you a bunch of lures and pro shirt tanks for all your streams. Thank you very much. Heart Tackle. Thank you. Okay, people. So that's it. I'm going to sign off. Everyone, go support the other live streamers right now. They're doing you know, the hard work, and it needs to be done. So go check them out. You know who to check out, and we'll be following it. Live stream Tuesday with Barnes. I'm going to try to get a vlog out, but you know, I don't know what anyone else wants to hear about right now except what's going on in Canada. So we'll see if the Give, Send, Go restraint of funds evolves, and maybe I'll try to get the CEO of Give, Send, Go on for a sidebar or an interview. So, people, thank you all very much. Thank you for the support, and thank you for everything. I can't thank you enough. Enjoy the day. Peace.